Hello, everybody. This is Tisher, and I want to thank you for signing up for Stat 200 Introduction to Statistics. Most of the final grade is made up of doing MyStatLab. So let's talk about how to access MyStatLab and use it to strive for success in Stat 200. To do this, I'll share my screen. And here's our Leo classroom. And to get into MyStatLab, first let's assume that you've already registered for MyStatLab. If not, go to Content there at the top there, and then click on My Lab and Mastering on the left-hand side. And then to register, click on Student Pearson My Lab Guide. Now, once you've registered for it, go back to My Lab and Mastering, and then click on MyStatLab here on the left-hand side. And then click on Open Link here in the middle, the Open Link button in the middle. And then we'll click on Open My Lab and Mastering button here in right here in the middle. Right, and here we are in My Lab or MyStatLab, or also known as My Lab Statistics. Okay, now to start working in MyStatLab, we'll go to the left-hand side and click on Assignments. And here are all of the assignments for the entire course, except the final exam. You'll see the final exam at the very end there in the last week of the course. Okay. The final exam will appear after the checkpoint quiz number 3. So, in the meantime, the best way to go through these assignments is to do them in succession from top to bottom. Okay. So you want to do the assignments in order from top to bottom. Okay. So the top there is the very first homework assignment, which is orientation homework. So we'll click on that. All right. Now we'll notice here there's 12 questions. Okay. Each question is a point. So you get 12 points for this. However, it's not going to be for a grade. Okay. So the orientation homework is just for practice. All it does is help us get used to MyStatLab and orient us around MyStatLab. All right. So to do this, I've already done the first question. If you see a check mark, you've done that question already. And so let's just go to the next question, which is 0.1.2. Okay. Now it's asking us which face is smiling. Um, I guess this B is the one that's smiling, so we'll click on that and we'll see what happens. So at the very bottom there, click on the check answer button, and it says excellent. Okay. All right. Now we got to check for this one, so we'll go to the next question, 0.1.3. All right, it wants us to figure out which are all the correct answers. So let's just assume that 2 minus 2 is 1. So let's click on that and let's check the answer to see what it does. And it says that's incorrect. And it tries to give us some hints of what to do or some extra information that may be helpful. And we'll click OK. All right. Now with orientation homework, it's just for practice. So we're not going to go back and redo any problem. Okay. All right. Okay, but let's go back to the list of assignments. All right, now we have ready prerequisite week 1 quiz. So once you finish the orientation homework, then do the ready prerequisite week 1 quiz. And notice on the right-hand side there, it says attempts and it says 0 of infinity. So this means you get an unlimited amount of chances to strive for a perfect on that quiz. Okay, so you get an unlimited amount of chances to strive for perfection on that quiz. All right, and then once you finish the ready quiz, you go to set prerequisite week one homework, and then do your best on that. And then after you finish that, go to the go graded week one homework. Now, as far as the grade is concerned in a Stat 200, you don't get any grade for the orientation homework, the ready, or the set homework. So the go graded week one homework is the first homework assignment that we see here that you actually get a grade on in our course. All right. And as for the go homework assignments, there's a total, if you scroll down, there's actually a total of 7 go graded homework assignments. And all those are for a grade. All right, and they should also, each Go homework assignment should have an unlimited amount of chances to get a good grade on that assignment. So let's take a look at one. Let's look at the Go graded week one homework. All right, let's look at 1.1.9. And if you look at here, it says attempts allowed unlimited per question, 25 points. Okay, so let's just look at one of these questions. All right. Now, if you need help on each of these questions, it's recommending us to use the help features below. All right. There's an instructor tip there. There's help me solve this. So you can solve a similar problem. And then once you, or you can see a similar problem solved on its own. And then you can use that to do a similar problem for a grade. Okay. And, right. And, if you want to get more help, we have the textbook there, StatCrunch, Tech Help, Ask My Instructor. So let's look at the Tech Help. All right, in Tech Help, we have all kinds of different programs here we can use, Excel, SPSS. So embedded in MyStatLab is a program called StatCrunch. All right, so let's click on StatCrunch there. And there's all kinds of videos there of how to do something in StatCrunch, which I'm sure, which I hope will be helpful for you. Okay, all right. So again, go through each question and just try to choose the right answer. Okay. And again, you get a limited amount of chances to raise your grade on each Go homework assignment. Isn't that exciting? All right, now let's go back to assignments there. So just keep in mind all of the Go homework assignments are for a grade. And also, you see something called checkpoint quiz number 1. And if you scroll down, there's a total of 3 checkpoint quizzes. Each of those are also for a final grade. Or actually, I'm sorry. Each of those checkpoint quizzes are for a grade. Okay. So Go homework assignment and the checkpoint quizzes are for a grade. Now with the checkpoint quizzes here, say checkpoint quiz number 2, on the right-hand side it says 0 of 2. So that means you only get 2 chances to raise your grade. So that is, you take each quiz 2 times, and the higher of the 2 grades that you get will be recorded. All right. And that's all there is to it for MyStatLab. Just again, I recommend just starting at the top there, do orientation homework first, and then do ready prerequisite week 1 quiz, and then set prerequisite week 1 homework, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And there's no time limit, and there's no limit on how much you can work on this. So you can work on all this as much as you like, except for the each quiz you get 2 times on those. Other than the checkpoint quizzes, you can work on all these as much as you like for as long as you like. And there's no penalty, there's no time penalty, no late penalty. So you can work on this as slow as you like or as fast as you like for the entire course. Now, if you feel you might need more help on each of these problems, let's go back to the Leo classroom. And down here in My Lab and Mastering, there's an option here for Pearson Video and Resource Library. Let's click on that and then click on Open Link. All right. And I get this because I haven't registered myself for Pearson Library. All right. And so, but um, when it comes up, you should have a list of, it should give you a drop-down menu of chapters you can choose from for help. So let's say you want to get help in chapter four. So choose chapter four, and then it gives you a list of uh, PowerPoint slides or videos to choose from, and you can click all those and get help like that. Okay, and it'll show you PowerPoint slides and videos, all the stuff you might need help for. Okay, all right. Okay, now let's suppose that let's suppose you need more help other than that. I myself have made lots of videos on the subject, and I'll make those accessible to each of you as the course proceeds. Okay. Okay, so with that, I hope all that was helpful for you, and I wish you all the best in the course. I hope it works out for you, and if you have any more questions or need any more help, let me know. Okay. So in the meantime, thank you so much, and I hope the course works out for you as well as everyone. Thank you.